throwing videos on a platform and calling it a course is going to work in 2025? Think again. If you're not putting quality courses into the world, you are not going to make it. In this video, I'm going to tell you why. I'm Dr. Catrina Mitchum, founder of Catrina Mitchum Learning Design. So in the last video, we talked about buyers being more discerning, and that is still a big part of the why for this. But a well-designed course also does a lot of things for your business. It boosts credibility and reviews. And in turn, that attracts more clients, brings the ones that you have back to you again and again into other courses and services, and it makes them want to recommend you to others. We take courses for a change. When you're successful in making those changes, you're more likely to come back. When I was still a writing professor, I would have several students take every course that I offered. Why? Because they got what they needed, and they trusted that I was as invested in their success as they were. The learning experience was something that worked for them. They would get the result they were looking for every time. So you need to give them what they need, not just information from your head. And that's going to require designing your course for learning. That means that you need to understand how learning works. So content delivery does not equal learning. It just means knowledge gathering. So think back to school, like your formal education. Did you ever have that teacher that just stood up in the front of the classroom and talked at you and talked at you and talked at you and talked at you? Do you remember anything from that class? Me neither. And we are not the only ones. We don't learn things just by consuming content, whether that's listening, whether that's reading, whether that's watching a video. Content consumption is not learning. It's knowledge gathering. And will we use it? Yes, but we have to be prompted to use it. We have to be prompted to engage with it. The information is important, but the information alone isn't learning. We need to be engaging with the information in order to come to our own understanding of it, and then we need to actively apply it to the thing that we're trying to change. So for example, I could tell you all of these different ways to go ahead and get better at small talk. That's one of my favorite course examples, getting better at small talk. And if I, list out all of these different things that you can do, and then I don't ask you to reflect on the things that I told you, have you tried those before? How did that go? What might you try differently? Why do you think it didn't work the first time? If I'm not asking you to engage with the content, then we're missing out on the next step of learning. And then I need to also ask you to apply what you've learned. So going back and looking at that list, oh, this is the thing that I could have done better, or this is the way that it could have gone better for me. Okay, well then go do it, go practice. That application is where we start to solidify learning. We're recalling that information at each stage. We're recalling it when we're engaging with the content, and then we're recalling that information again when we're applying the information. And that is the thing that will help us be able to continue to apply it moving forward. So that was a really simplified version, and it doesn't ever happen just the one time, right? It needs to constantly be recalled and used and engaged with, because those things also change over time. So you can learn again from that practice and reflect again on that practice, and you start to hone and fine tune being able to do small talk. And so creating courses that are actually designed that way, that are designed to help people learn and make that change, builds trust. It builds trust for buying higher ticket items, coming back for more, and absolutely raving about you. If you don't have folks absolutely raving about your course, then you might need to look at what your design is for your course. People are driven by their emotions. No matter how logical they say they are, they're driven by emotions. And so if they have gotten frustrated with buying courses that are just video vaults, if they have gotten frustrated with not getting the outcomes that they were promised in a course, they are frustrated with only making it through the first module of your course, then they're not going to be successful, right? If they feel like they can't remember what they learned, they're not applying it, concrete things aren't happening. Emotions impact our success and whether or not we learn in courses, in learning experiences. So what we want to do is create positive feelings. We want to create small wins that will also help their success. So it's about designing a course that is intended to help them get from one point to the other. And that leads to sustainability for you. Now that the FTC is starting to crack down on false income claims and testimonials that don't reflect the norm, you're going to need to create results for more than just high-performing learners. There are some learners that can come into a course and they're natural learners. They've already figured out for themselves how to take content and learn from it. Most people aren't like that, especially if they're buying a course. If they're the kind of person that can take content and learn from it on their own, then they're probably getting by okay with YouTube videos, with books, with content that is more cheaply available and readily available out there. So when you start creating courses that are intended to help people learn in the ways that we know help people learn, that is what is going to set you apart. You can use a detailed look at your curriculum to show how you're different from the video vaults that are out there. So you have to actually give a shit about your clients' outcomes in your course in order to be successful. Before you forget, take 5 minutes and write down why this matters to you. What it is that you want your course to achieve for your clients and for you. What did you get out of this video? Remember, don't quote me. Take what you remember and write it down. That's what's going to help you with recall. Fixing a shitty course is necessary to a course being successful. But how do you know if you have a shitty course? Check out my next video to self-check your course. And if it's not there yet, it'll be there next week.